Nigeria's central bank says from January 9th next year, maximum cash withdrawals for individuals per week will be 100,000 naira and 500,000 naira for corporate institutions. Withdrawals above these figures will attract a 5% processing fee for individuals and a 10% processing fee for corporate organizations. In a circular issued by the central bank as part of the new Naira redesign policy, it will also stated that third-party checks above 50,000 naira will not be eligible for payment over the counter, while existing limits on 10 million naira clearing checks remain in place. Customers will only be allowed to withdraw 100,000 naira per week from automated teller machines with a maximum of 20,000 naira withdrawal per day. All right, business analyst Chika Mbonu joins me now to discuss this latest circular, whether it's been tabled before the family panel. So this is something new. Good morning.
I mean, morning, my brother. Hi, morning. Thank you for having me today. And basically, Central Bank of Nigeria wants to have a firm control of the money in circulation. I mean, you know, you don't need to be a whiz kid to understand what's happening here. They just, you know, recall that when this redesign policy came up,
yes,
they told us that about 80% of the cash, money in circulation, was actually outside the bank vaults. About 2.7 trillion of cash was outside the bank vaults. Some of them in your wardrobe, some of them, buried in, on the ground and so on and so forth. And we have seen, from what we have seen from the money going to the banking system, it's really the state of the money. Some of them rotten. We even hear that note wrappers of some extinct banks, resurfacing. And the currency has not been changed for 20 years. So you have dirty notes, you have also the issue of fake currency, very high. The CBN seem to have lost control of the money in circulation
over the
years. And so the new note design was the step one of the process. Step two now is the second one, limiting withdrawals.
And I think part of it is also that limiting the kind of currency, because you can do withdrawal but in certain notes.
So if they can push in this 2.7 trillion into the banking system now, that at that time zero, that means that zero outside there. So now they can control with moderation the amount of cash out of the system. And I've made it very difficult. A weekly cash withdrawal, 100,000 naira for individuals. Corporate is about 500,000 naira. And anything above that, 5% charge, and then 10% for that. It means that if in a week you want to withdraw, let's say 600,000 naira as an individual,
yes,
the excess above 100,000 is 500. So the charge on that is 5% of 500. That's about 25,000 naira. That's what you're going to pay. So if the corporate also, the limit is 500,000 a week. If you want to withdraw 1 million, that means the excess then is 500,000. 10% of that is 50,000 naira. So you're paying 50,000 naira on top of to withdraw an excess of 500,000.
So you need to count the cost.
You need to count the cost.
So this money management, money flows management, it's like controlling as it were. But again, what will it have? Will it impact inflation in any way, or is that a different conversation?
Well, I mean, the jury is out there still. But one of the things that you can say there is that alternative market for the foreign exchange usually happens through the cash, fiscal naira cash out there. They also hope that if they do this successfully, that will also help to moderate or tame the rates in that alternative market. Because now, for you to withdraw those large sums of money, you have to go and bring your birth certificate. You see the list there, application for this, MD has to sign, this one, the MD has to sign. So many, I'm just hoping that it will be burdensome for the existing system.
Do you think there's a little bit of a price we have to pay for this policy to permeate?
The truth is this, that you know that I hate comparing economies. I don't like doing it. But if you strand across for 6 hours from here or some other economies, ordinary £1,000 inflow into your account and stuff like that. A lot of these days, you have to really account for
where the money is coming
for it. And if you want to withdraw abroad, if you want to withdraw some amount of cash, you have to give the banks
certain disclosures has to come from
I even notice, that. So, because also that the Central Bank of Nigeria wants to push the economy towards the right channel, so the cashless angle.
Yes.
I hazard a guess. I know, for example, I'm not symbolic of the greater Nigerians, that substantially in the last maybe 2 or 3 years, I've done little or no cash transaction. I do believe that, if things are done properly, we can have a success in this process and reduce the amount of cash in the system.
So, if you give me a job, I'm an artisan, you pay me 100,000, so you've got to do it by transfer. And I've got to be sure that those who I'm subletting it to are also doing transfer to them. Why would I need 100,000 in cash in my pocket?
That's the thing I was asking some people around me yesterday. I said, why do you need so much cash around you? And it's just that semblance of the issue of change. Yes. I do recall that when this ATM card came out into the banking system, if you take a step back, at that time, coming from the east to Lagos for market, a lot of luxury buses used to be attacked on the road.
That was the days of the armed robbers.
Yeah,
because they know they carry a lot of
cash. I do remember.
Even going to the north.
I do remember, listen to this. I do remember when we told our brothers from the east that 2 million naira now is in this small card. A lot of them were like, you said, the 2 million is in this card now. A lot of them were like, are you sure? And along the journey, occasionally, they bring out the card to make sure the card is still there. And until they got used to that process.
Yes.
Even the use of POS and so on and so POS, a lot of traders are still not...
still warming up to it.
But a lot of them are getting used to it now. I raise one issue now, which is the reliability of the process or the alternative channels. The failure rate is still very high, and the resolution mechanism for failures is still very slow.
So you've got to deal with infrastructure at the backbone of our digital drive.
As we're moving towards cashless society, cashless transactions, I believe that Central Bank also should work with the banks to establish minimum service levels agreements. Okay. On if the transaction doesn't succeed, mandatorily it must be reversed in this amount, at this time.
Okay.
Because individuals may have their last 30K or 10K,
and
they want to withdraw from ATM and there's no transaction. It takes time now before the transactions are reversed.
Yeah, because if you're going to repair the electrical fittings in my apartment and I have to transfer 20,000 to you and you don't get it, you don't get it repaired because you haven't gotten the cash. You can't go to the market to come back and buy fittings and do things.
Yeah.
And if you don't have evidence of payment, you're not sure whether I'm going to pay you after the service. So
a lot of times, you want to check out from the hotel, the POS goes once, goes twice.
I won't pay hospital bills while you're right there.
Yeah. You want to pay some hospital bills, it doesn't go
through.
So
we've got to deal with power.
The power and the fractional backbone.
Yes.
Yeah, to make sure that this works.
So the NCC has to come into this conversation.
Yeah. And
Ministry of Power
this is very, very critical. Why will support the Central Bank towards getting a grip of the amount of cash in the system, the money in circulation. They also work with the banks to make sure that the alternative power channels, power systems work.
So this is likely going to be the first cashless election we're going to have in 2023. I don't know if that's if I'm putting that very well. Cashless.
I don't like talking about politics.
Yeah, but again, money moves things.
The amount of cash, believe now. Remember the old notes. By January 31st, will become, if you have $1 billion of it in your house, it just becomes maybe a piece of paper. So
no, you become generous. So just call your neighbors and start.
So many things are happening now. A lot of people are doing things now to just bring all those cash into the banking system, and we hope that people respectfully move their cash into the system. Before the January 31st.
If you got a billion, and you can just buy some shares. And then that can improve market liquidity.
The issue is that you need to push it into the banking system from cash to soft money.
To quasi money.
Yeah, quasi money before you can transact on it. But Emefiele is not a popular person now with a lot of people. And that's not surprisingly. There was initial this grandstand to push that the time is too short for that. They should push it to after election. Some people say push it to March and so on to after election because of the armory of naira notes that they've acquired. They were going to use to pump out through this election. Those have been taken,
But it looks like the central bank has been magnanimous enough. People can do all the spending they want for December, Christmas, and New Year. Then when you come back after paying your rent in the new year, then the game changes. Unless if your landlord says, I want my 300,000 in cash.
That's why.
Then it's going to wait till about 3 weeks.
You use the word, they're very magnanimous by pushing to 9th of January. I was thinking about 9th January.
Some school fees have to be paid before.
Yeah, they want to have a Christmas to done, needs. But interestingly, as they move more transactions towards these alternative channels, the banking system,
yes,
it helps in planning, economic planning.
I agree.
It helps in tax. It helps in so many things. Even indirectly, the informal sector can actually recalculate it.
Maybe it's also going to help some money that changes hands in terms of civil service corrupt practices. Because again, if you're asking me to give you a bribe of 300,000,
I can't hear you.
Okay, I guess there's a problem with the audio. Let's leave the conversation at this point in time. Yes. Okay, so let's leave it for there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We still have until January 9th. So we had a lot to consider before then. Have a nice time. Let me know what the decision is. If you tell Madam there's a withdrawal limit, if that's going to affect your dinner, breakfast, or lunch, let me know how it goes. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's Chika Mbonu, Arise Business.